Lee Summit is a city of 109,000 people sitting on top of one of the biggest land deals in Missouri history. There are nearly 4,200 acres of development land about to reshape the entire community, and most people have no idea it's happening. I'm Mark Wiesemann. I've been in Lee Summit for over 20 years. I've closed almost 500 real estate deals here. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know about living in this city. From neighborhoods nobody talks about to the growth that's about to change everything. If you're thinking about moving here or you already live here and want to know what's coming, stay until the end because I've got something that changes how you think about this entire market. What kind of city is Lee Summit? Most people hear Lee Summit and they think small town suburb. It's not. It's the 6th largest city in Missouri with a population of 108,842, and it's been growing at 1.13% annually. Since 2020, the population is up 7%. Lee Summit sits 19 miles southeast of Kansas City. The commute is 26 or 27 minutes by car. There's a bus line and even an Amtrak that will take you there. But here's what makes it different from every other suburb. This is a city with its own identity, its own downtown, its own economy. The major employers here include St. Luke's East Hospital, a CVS Caremark call center, and the R7 school district, which is one of the best in the state. The unemployment rate runs around 3%. When I first started on patrol in Lee Summit back in 1995, there was a small diner that sat at the intersection of 291 and 150 highway in the south part of town. This place was the intersection of two-lane highways with the gravel parking lot, and there was a payphone there. I remember using that payphone to call dispatch to get information they didn't want to put out over the police radio. Now, there's a 4-lane highway that goes over 150 highway, which is also now a 4-lane highway with entrance and exits straight onto the highway. Instead of a 4-way stop and a gravel parking lot, there are now strip shopping centers on 3 of the 4 corners, including a Walmart. Man, things have really changed. Here's something most people don't expect from a suburb. Lee Summit has its own airport. Kansas City Lee Summit Regional Airport sits about 3.5 miles north of downtown. It's not commercial. You're not flying Southwest out of here. But if you're a private pilot, you own a small plane, or your business uses charter flights, this is a real asset. They've got a 5,500-foot runway, a full-service FBO with a concierge, fuel, hangars, the whole setup. They have also been approved for a control tower. If the city builds it, the federal government is committed to manning it. Last year, they had 65,000 touchdown and takeoffs go through the airport. They just opened a brand new 50,000 square foot hangar in late 2025, and they partnered with the school district to launch an aerospace academy for students interested in aviation. One of the first in the nation. The city actually renamed it from Lee Summit Municipal to Kansas City Lee Summit Regional ahead of the 2026 World Cup to position it for more regional traffic. It's one of those things where you don't think about it until you need it, and then you realize not many suburbs can say they have their own airport with real infrastructure behind it. The neighborhoods. Where should you actually live? Lee Summit has a wide range of neighborhoods, and the price spread is significant. The citywide median sits at $352,000, but that number hides a lot of variety depending on where you land. The entry-level ones, downtown Lee Summit, $245,000 median. Chapel Ridge, $350,000 median. Some move-up areas, Raintree Lake, $382,000 median. Eagle Creek, $428,000 median. Lakewood, $450,000 median. Stony Creek Estates, $471,000 median. Winterset, $502,000 median. Longview Farms, $603,000 median. Here's how I break it down for my clients. Entry level and first time buyers, Downtown Lee Summit comes in around $245,000 median. Chapel Ridge and Oak Tree Farm run around $350,000 median. Both are solid entry points for single-family homes with good access to the city. Move-up families, Raintree Lake sits at $382,000 median, and Eagle Creek is around $428,000 median. These are established neighborhoods with the space and amenities most families are looking for. If you want premium, Lakewood runs about $450,000 and goes up into the $1 million range. Stony Creek Estates comes in around $471,000 median. Winterset runs at $502,000 median with some of the best lots in the metro. And Longview Farms is at $603,000 median. Older architecture, larger lots, real character. Legacy Park is the family hub. A 22-acre lake, community pool, sports complex. If you've got kids under 12, this is where you'll end up spending your weekends. The one neighborhood that I often recommend is Raintree Lake. It has houses that range from around $400,000 to $700,000 and probably higher now. There's just a good mix of housing, but it also has a lake that you can ski on. It's a great subdivision with a great pool, playgrounds, and it is also very walkable. And then you have a grocery store, a Walmart, and a hardware store, all in very close proximity. Easy access to the highway to go north, south, east, and west. The schools, are they as good as people say? Lee Summit R7 School District ranks number 52 out of 553 school districts in Missouri. That's top 10%. The district serves about 17,800 students with a 15-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio. The numbers back it up. Math proficiency runs at 54% compared to the Missouri state average of 40%. Reading proficiency is 53% versus the state average of 43%. At the individual school level, the ones I work with the most are Cedar Creek, Longview, and Trail Ridge Elementary. These are the schools my buyers are zoned for most often, and parents consistently tell me the community involvement is strong. Lee Summit West High School ranks 20th out of 352 high schools in Missouri. All three of the district's high schools rank in the top 51 statewide. Here's the part most agents won't tell you. The school you're zoned for matters. Not every neighborhood feeds into the same schools, and the scores vary building to building. The difference between a top 30 elementary and one that's mid-pack is real. This is where working with someone who knows every boundary line matters. What you also need to know is that students in the northeast part of the city attend the Blue Springs School District schools. But Blue Springs has 2 elementary schools and a middle school in the Lee Summit city limits. I know, but that's how the districts were shaped. I heard years ago that the 2 people drew the school district boundaries on the trunk of a car. Not sure if that's true, but with how it looks, it very well could be. The cost of living. What does it actually cost to live here? The median home price in Lee Summit right now is $352,000 and rising. That's up 2.6% year over year according to the RPR data, and homes are averaging just 32 days on the market. The market is competitive. Sellers are getting 99% of list price, which tells you that demand here is real. But the cost of living overall is about 8% below the national average. A single person averages about $2,465 per month in total expenses. A family of 4 runs about $5,427. The median household income is $105,000, which means most families have real purchasing power. Property taxes are worth mentioning. The effective rate is about 1.35%, which is above the Missouri state average of 1%. On a median priced home, that's a meaningful annual number. It's not nothing, but the school quality and city services justify it. If you're coming from a coastal market, Denver, Seattle, Northern Virginia, the math is going to feel very different. You're getting 2,000 square feet of unfinished home with a yard for what a 2-bedroom condo costs in most West Coast metros. The commute and lifestyle, what's the day-to-day really like? The commute, if you're working in downtown Kansas City, is 26 to 27 minutes on a good day. There's a public bus line, Route 550, that runs 34 to 36 minutes. And there's even an Amtrak stop that gets you downtown in 36 minutes for about $10 to $14. But here's the thing most people don't realize until they've lived here for a year. You don't actually go to Kansas City that often. Lee Summit has its own downtown with restaurants, a farmer market, live events, and the kind of walkable district that most suburbs can only dream about. Summit Fair and Summit Woods have your retail. Legacy Park is one of many parks that have your recreation. You have everything you need without getting on I-470. The weather is real Midwest. Summers hit the 90s with humidity. Winters average around 30 degrees with about 14 inches of snow annually. You get about 219 sunny days a year, but you definitely get all the 4 seasons here as well. Sometimes more than once. Like this week, it was over 80 degrees in March. Lee Summit has everything you could want. You can start a weekend off relaxing at one of the local restaurants and bars in downtown Lee Summit. Downtown has won national awards and is known for all of its local eateries, bars, and stores that are all within walking distance of each other. Then Saturday, you can get up, go enjoy our parks, our trails, find yourself at a shopping center that has some nationally recognized brands as well. Sunday, you can get up, go to church, and then enjoy brunch or lunch wherever you want. We have all kinds of food here: seafood, pizza, Italian, Mexican, Chinese, fast food. Anything you want, you can basically find it here in Lee Summit. The growth, what's coming that nobody's talking about. In the intro, I said there were 4,200 acres of development land. Here's the full story. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints owns approximately 4,200 acres in Lee Summit through a subsidiary called Suburban Land and Reserve. Recently, 1,860 of those acres were listed for sale. The land is earmarked for a mix of commercial, industrial, and residential development coordinated with city master plans, which the city is currently working on. On top of that, Discovery Park is a $900 million mixed-use development on 268 acres near I-470 and St. Luke's East Hospital. Phase 1 includes 2 hotels with 230 rooms targeting the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Future phases include nearly 2,800 luxury apartments, Class A office space, medical offices, and retail. Then there's Oldham East Village, the development bringing a Costco plus restaurants and retail to Lee Summit. That one has people fired up. Costco is the one everybody's been asking for, and it's finally happening. Downtown is transforming too. The Market Plaza project is bringing a 4-season farmers market, an outdoor performance area, a boutique hotel, urban apartments, all right across from City Hall. This is not speculation. These are funded, permitted, under construction projects. And if you're buying a home in Lee Summit right now, you need to understand how this growth is going to affect property values, traffic patterns, and the character of specific neighborhoods over the next 5 to 10 years. What you should know before you move here. I'm going to give you 3 things I think every person considering Lee Summit should hear. First, the market moves fast. Homes sell on an average about 38 days across the city, but that varies wildly by neighborhood. Raintree Lake averages 16 days. Downtown Lee Summit averages just 7. Meanwhile, Chapel Ridge is sitting on 63 days and Longview Farms at 86. Where you buy matters as much as when. Second, not every part of Lee Summit feels the same. There's a real difference between the north side near the I-470 corridor and the quieter south side near Peculiar and Raymore. Know what you're looking for before you start touring. And then third, investors are active in this market. Nationally, 33% of homes purchased are going to investors. In the KC Metro, institutional investors account for about 11% of sales, and Missouri sees overall about 21% of investor activity. That affects inventory and pricing, especially in the $250,000 to $400,000 range. The one thing I think every buyer needs to understand when moving to Lee Summit is that this is probably one of the hottest housing markets in the Kansas City metro area, especially on the Missouri side. You need to be prepared to bring your best offer. Put your best foot forward so that you can get in the house that you're dreaming of here in Lee Summit. Who's this video for? If you're relocating to the Kansas City metro and you want to understand what Lee Summit offers, this video is your starting point. If you're a family looking for top 10% schools, safe neighborhoods, and a city that actually has things to do, Lee Summit should be on your short list. If you're downsizing and want to stay in a community with walkable downtown access, strong medical facilities, and real culture, this is worth a serious look. Who should look elsewhere? If you want to be in the middle of downtown Kansas City nightlife, this isn't your spot. It's a 27-minute drive. If your budget is under $275,000 and you need 3 bedrooms, the inventory here is going to be thin. Blue Springs or Raymore might stretch it a little further. If you're looking for a rural acreage, 5+ acres with no HOA, you need to look south towards Peculiar or east past Lone Jack. That's the full breakdown of living in Lee Summit. If you have specific questions about a neighborhood, a school zone, or what your budget actually gets you here, drop them in the comments and I'll answer every one. If you want to talk one-on-one, email me at info@movingwithmark.com. I've been doing this for over a decade in this exact market, and I'll give you the same honest conversation I give to every client who sits across from me. Hit subscribe if you want more Lee Summit content. I'm putting out new videos every week covering specific neighborhoods, market updates, and the real talk that other agents won't give you. I'll see you in the next one.